Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Today we will present our materials. This is about second language acquisition theory and language teaching. Presented by me, Ina Okarina, and Puji Oktaviani. Okay, Puji, next. Okay, this is the outline of our materials. Number one is the 6 types of theory, and then a review about some aspects like the teaching and language learning. And then the third and the fourth is block 1 until block 4. Okay, next. Okay, there are 6 types of theory. Number one is the theory of enablement, which is have the goals to explain how language comes humanly possible and normative to acquire one or more language. And then the second one, theory of development, is to explain why something are learned earlier than others. And the third, theory of achievement, it is to explain why some person achievement more easier. Okay. And the next, theory of online processing, it is explain how contact with learning opportunities in fact lead to language development. The fifth, theory of team support, to explain that environment is the best helping. And then the sixth one is a theory of didactic orientation, is to develop a semantic framework inside which didactic decisions can be relevantly weighed and made. Okay, now some aspects, it is the review. There are some aspects of language teaching and language learning. Before we know that there are 4 blocks. Block 1, it's mean about enablement and development. Block 2, it is about achievement. Block 3, it is about the natures of learning and some aspects of the didactic strategy. And block 4 is about online processing. Before we already studied about acquisitions and learning. That you can see from the screen that the difference between learning and acquisitions, and there are quite cited, that Stephen Preston said that learning is less important than acquisition. Next, UG. It is a valuable. UG is a theory of language, not of language learning. In the term of second language acquisitions, there are arguments supporting UG and against UG. For supporting, it's a valuable tool for language analysis and useful approach for descriptions and explanations. And against, it's ideals a view of language which is focused on some aspects of language but not others. Okay, next. Enable UG and natural order, block 1. UG as a theory of enable for L1 and L2. Since 1980s, UG known as the theoretical or hypothetical system of categories, operations, and principles served by all human language and considered to be innate. UG is by Chomsky. Is one important theory in the help of second language acquisitions. About natural order hypothesis is the acquisitions of the grammar structures process in a predictable order. Okay, Ji? And the second speaker is Puji, will explain more about our materials.
Thank you, Mayumi. Okay, I will try to explain the block 2. It's about individual variation. As we know that individual variation defines as the study of why some people learn a second language better than others. And for the individual variation, have some factors in learning of L2. There are attitude, age, motivation, intelligence, and attitudes. Next. Aptitude, as we already know, have 2 definitions. First is predictive definition, means that aptitude aptitude is related to a set of cognitive abilities. These cognitive abilities allow one to predict how well an individual can learn a second language. And then the second definition is intentional. It means that aptitude as a comprehension abilities during the second language learning. Next is age. Age here means, according to Steven Pinker and friends, age in learning second language learning means that will be better if start at age 10 and then after age 18. Next is motivation. Motivation here means the learner's overall goal or orientation. And then for motivation itself, have two types. First is integrative motivation, and second is instrumental motivation. Where integrative motivation is where the learner studies a language because they are interested in, love the culture and the target language in order to communicate with the people of another culture who speak with. And then instrumental motivation means that a learner's goals for learning the second language are functional and useful, for example, to finding a job or to pass the test. Next is intelligence. According to Jeunesse, intelligence has an important roles in learning language acquisition because a people with a high IQ will achieve a better result on the language test. It is proof that intelligence can predict the rate and the success of SLA in learning language classroom. And then attitudes, according to Ellis, it clarifies that the attitude is set of belief about factors as the target language culture, their own culture, and in the case of classroom learning of their teachers and the learning tests they are given. And then next is block 3 about input and interaction. As we know that we have learned about the meaning of input from our previous lesson. But here in linguistic, input means refers to the target language. In this case, L2, which is the language that the student is getting ready to learn. Where the interaction means, according to Vygotsky, interaction is play an important role. Where interaction, the learners construct the new language through social mediated interaction, where the interaction get from the friends, parents, and then the family. The last one is block 4. Block 4 is cognitive model. Cognitive model is a descriptive account or computational representation of a human thinking about a given concept, skill, or domain, or an account of how humans gain accurate and complete the knowledge. I think that's all.
We think that's all for our presentation. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.